Boom! Et voila! That works. Look at that. What's going on, guys? Guillaume here for Pure Programming. Welcome back. Today, once again, we will work on the simple image processor. We'll add a new feature, zooming. That's right, we'll put a slider at the top of the screen to control the zoom level of your image from 10%, let's say, to 500%. There is a lot of code to be written this time, so I will try a new presentation technique. I will speed up most of the code writing and explain either before or after the code that has been written. You want to see some zooming? Let's get started. Okay, back to the code. So we want to add a zoom control, but we are not going to add only a zoom control. We are going to add a trackbar, which is a slider, as well as a text box, so we can display the value of the zoom. Okay, if you are 10%, we'll display 10% with a person sign. Let's add all those controls. Okay, so what I did there is adding two new controls, and so gadget zoom value. So the zoom is the trackbar, the zoom value is the text box. Then some constant, margin, value of 5 to put some margin between the gadgets, and the width and height of the new controls. So the trackbar will be 400 pixels wide and 20 pixels high, and the text box, the zoom value, will be 50 pixels wide and 20 pixels high. Then back to the construction of my gadget list. So here, to be able to build the list, the gadgets, the window as a kind of grid. So in my grid, I will have first row the trackbar and the text box, then second row the scroll area gadget, within it the image gadget. So I start at 0, 0 here. I define x and y to be 0, 0, and then I add a margin, so I move a little bit on the y-axis. I add my trackbar gadget at x, y, and at the end of the line, so gadget zoom, x and y, so it's going to be at 0, 5 actually, so a little bit further down. Then zoom width and height, the size. 1 here is the minimum value and maximum value of my trackbar. I put 1% and 500%. On the same line, I added the, I want to update the x value. So x equals x plus. So I'm to compute the next position where to put my text gadget. I want my x to be x, so which was 0, plus the width of the zoom, not the zoom, the width of the zoom, plus a margin. After that, I can add my text gadget again at x and y, because x here will be 405 and y will still be 5. So my text gadget will be positioned just right next to the trackbar. Zoom value width, zoom value height. The initial text will be 100%, and I want a border and the text to be aligned on the right. To move to the second row of gadgets, which will be my scroll area, I put the X like, you know, a type machine. I put the X back to 0 and the Y, we were at the first row, so now I need to go to the second row, and second row is Y, which was 5, equals Y plus zoom height, which is the height of the first row, basically 20 pixel, plus another margin to let some space between the controls and the trackbar and the text gadget and the scroll area, which will be 30. So x equals 0, y equals 30, and then I can put my scroll area gadget at xy, and within it I can put my gadget, my image at 0, 0, but these coordinates here, 0, 0, they mean 0, 0 within the scroll area gadget. So, and then I close my gadget list. Next row, we don't really have a next row, but it's a good habit. If we were to have a next row, it will be, okay, the X is back to 0, and the Y, we add the window height to the Y to start our next row. And so when I resize using menu height plus Y, which is directly the height of all the controls that have been added to my window. Next, I will initialize my zoom. So for that, I'm gonna create a method, reset zoom gadget. Okay, so here I've created a reset zoom gadget that sets the gadget state to the value of my trackbar, to 100, and set gadget text that will set the value of my text box to 100%. Okay, so I renamed the function reset zoom level and I added a comment. Next is the most complicated part. We need to track the actual value of the trackbar and adapt the zoom level of the image to reflect this zoom. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a new bind event. So we are going to bind an event called Pbtfb-Gadget. For every event occurring on one of the gadgets, this will raise the Pbtfb-Gadget, and I will bind this event to a new function called onEventGadget, and the onEventGadget method will switch between all the event gadgets. So for us, we will have only one event, which will be the gadget zoom, and on this event we'll do some computation and some actions to actually zoom the image. So let's get to it. Okay, let's try that. We're not doing a lot of things here, but I first want to test what's going on, if it works. It does not work because CSTR, of course it's not C. I don't know why I put a C here. It's not set gadget state, set gadget text. Okay, another issue. Zoom value. Yes, it's zoom value underscore height. Finally something's happening. Look at that. Woohoo! We have our trackbar, we have our text box here, and when I move my cursor, the value changes from 1% to 500%. And if I open a file, okay, it doesn't zoom at all because we have not linked anything, we haven't done anything to do so. Let's do it. So next, what we want to do is when we slide this cursor, we want to zoom the image. So to zoom an image, to resize, we are going to resize the image. But what we are going to do is we are going to use a buffered. So we are going to use two images, like double buffering, okay? So what I mean by that is when you load the initial image, you're going to keep it somewhere in memory. Image main is going to be your initial loaded image untouched. And then every time you want to zoom the image, you're going to do a copy of this main image into a second one and resize the second one. I'm going to try to do it without the copy first, and you'll see what I mean. Okay, so I added this piece of code here, also some comments on the functions. So once I set my zoom value, after that I want to resize the image. So of course we are going to resize the image only if the actual image is an image. It has been loaded. So I'm testing if is image of image main. So if it's an image, then I compute the ratio here by dividing the zoom value by 100. Okay, so if it's 50%, it will be 0.5. If it's 200%, it will be 2. That's the ratio by which I'm going to multiply my initial image width and height to get the new size. And I'm going to resize my image with this ratio, setting the new size to what the size used to be, image width multiplied by the ratio, image height multiplied by the ratio. And I'm realizing it's not going to work if I open an image and try to zoom. Yes, it's so if I wanted to do this correctly, I'm going to keep the image dimensions when I load the image. Okay, so what I did here is define two global variables. So a global variable will be available for the whole program. So it's not a good habit to declare global variables but it is really helpful, so I did it like that quickly, because we are going to get rid of those variables quickly. So I keep image width, image height initialized to 0, and then when I load the image, I get the image width and image height. I'm not replacing all those here because I'm not going to use them. I'm going to change that. And then on my uneven gadget, I'm resizing the image to the image width times the ratio, image height times the ratio. Let's try this first. File, same image. Okay, so now if I zoom, see, I can zoom in. If I zoom out, look at the image. If I zoom out and re-zoom in and re-zoom out and re-zoom in and exactly, boom, look at that. We have lost everything because everything has been pixelized. Okay, so to prevent that, we need to copy the image, the original image, before resizing it. Let's do that. Okay, so here I've created a new enumeration image copy. Then when I load the image, I copy the image main. So I load the image into the image main, but I copy it directly into the image copy by calling this copy image. After that, in the rest of the function here, I'm using the image copy everywhere because I want to act on the copy, not on the main image anymore. And then on my event handler, the uneven gadget, when I want to resize, I'm checking if I have loaded an image. So to check that, I'm more checking the image main, but I could use the image copy, I guess. But then I need to check the image main because I'm copying the image main again into the image copy. So I need to do that only if the image main has been loaded. Then I compute the ratio, then I resize the image copy. So I'm not using image width and height anymore, so I can remove these two, and instead in the uneven here I can put back my, this time, image width of image main times ratio and image height of image main times ratio. Okay, let's try this. This should work much better. Okay, cube 100%. Let's see. Aha! Look at that. Very nice. So we're not done yet totally. We're going to do a little bit of cleaning, and also I want to show you that, look, it's, let me put it at, let's say, 15%. If I load a new file, it's loaded at 100%, but the zoom value still says 15%. So whenever we load this, a new image, we want to reset the zoom value to 100%. So let's do some cleanup. But first, let's reset the zoom value when we load a new image. Okay, so what I did is creating just a new function display image and adjust gadget that will display the image, resize the image gadget, and resize the scroll area. And because I realized that I did not test it, but when I was zooming, the scroll bars were not adjusting. So now let's test. It doesn't exist. Of course, it is defined reset zoom level here way below, so I need to declare it, okay? Because what I could do is move all my functions so that when you are using a function, you need it to be defined first, okay? If I use the set zoom value, if I define it here, I can only use it below. But to be able, I can use it here, see, I can use it here, but I cannot use it before it is declared. And here, that's exactly what I'm doing here. The reset zoom level here is actually defined right there. So that won't work. What I need to do, I could move the reset zoom level up, but there is another way. You can, at the top of your file, you can go and say declare reset zoom level, just like that, and it will tell the other, so the next functions, that they can use the reset zoom level function exists. It's right there, but it's not defined yet. It will be defined after. So if we run it now, boom, et voila, that works. Look at that. Zooming out, zooming in, displaying the zoom level, and the scroll bar still work. If I load another image, back to 100%. Good job. That is it. Done. Zooming completed. Don't forget to subscribe, like, or comment. I would appreciate some feedback or new ideas for future videos. Thank you for watching. I will see you very soon.